My name is Lt Willis, and I am the Lieutenant for 3rd Platoon Eagles. And I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker. When you think of the word challenge, what words come to mind? Well, when I think of the word challenge, I think of difficult, tough, hard, complicated, and demanding. The word challenge is deliberately in the name National Guard Youth Challenge Program for a reason. The program is designed to give young people an opportunity to discover their full potential and capabilities through success and failure. In helping our cadets, we often help ourselves discover our own form of potential that comes through the virtue of challenge. I would say that every cycle I continue to be challenged by the cadets that choose to attend the academy, not because the cadets are difficult, tough, or demanding, but because the circumstances they come from are complicated, draining, and hard. In 2013-1, I had the opportunity to meet our keynote speaker. She came in as a homeless teen who was looking for a new way. While here at the academy, she excelled in leadership, but like so many others, shied away from accepting her full potential. Since she graduated from the academy, I am certain she has had her variations of challenges that she has faced. From joining Job Corps after graduation and running away, to joining the National Guard, and then coming back to the academy as a cadre. She has shown consistent resilience in the face of her challenges. We are fortunate to have welcomed her back as a cadre on the 3rd floor, where she is able to impart the key values of resilience every day. Sergeant Padilla has demonstrated that challenges are not here to stop us, but they are here to help us keep moving forward as we grow into the best version of ourselves to find our true potential every day. Please help me welcome Cadet Graduate Michelle Padilla.
If you all had the knowledge that the structural foundation of this building was weak and could collapse at any moment, I'm pretty sure none of you would step inside with your family in hand, or at least I hope none of you would. See, I'm not a builder, but through my life, I've learned that that which you have laid as your foundation in life matters for everything else you place after it. The theme for this cycle is strong foundations, or I like firm foundations. I just like the word firm. So I did some research. What does it take to build a firm foundation on a building like this one? I found out that there are a couple steps before the initial building of the actual building. I came across this 4-step guide that I think can be beneficial to building our own foundation for our lives. The first step is the soil inspection. Checking the condition of the soil is the foremost step before beginning any work on it. When it comes to building a strong foundation, the soil type and its condition become very important. If the soil inspection is ignored, it can lead to instability in the future. So what does that say for us? Cadets, before deciding on something, any decision at all, or a friendship, or any sort of relationship, check the condition of the soil. Where is someone planted? What is the fruit of their life that they are producing? Is it good soil or is it bad soil? How's yours? Just as that criteria for inspecting the ground in which to build a building is pivotal, it is the same in which grounds we use to build the foundation for our lives. The second step guide is the excavating and the grading process. So in other words, this is the digging process. The digging should be met on the standard of the depth that is required. This is necessary for the removal of small pebbles, stones, twigs, roots, etc. Failure to remove such waste materials may hamper the process of building the foundation. If complacency hits and you get lazy to dig to the depth that you must, be ready for the consequences of a total collapse in the future. But cadets, you've been put through the ringer. And you know that even when you want to stop, you keep going until the work is done. This is the process which must continue to take place when you go back home. What stones, rocks, or in other words, friendships or habits need to be removed so your future won't be hampered with. Number 3, building the foundation. So finally getting down to the nitty-gritty of things, the building. Most skip the first 2 steps to begin the build. Don't be that person. Ask me how I know. For the building, the concrete is the base. But even concrete needs reinforcement for added strength and for crack resistance. It is always encouraged when building a building to get the help of a quality-minded concrete contractor for building the foundation successfully. So for those of you that can think you can do it alone, I would ask you to rethink that. And again, ask me how I know. Paying attention to the detail is critical during the building of the foundation. Cadets, you've learned this here too. Through DNC, physical fitness, wall locker inspections, bunk making, shoe shining, you name it. Every single part was critical. Attention to detail, again, attention to detail is critical, or you will have to reform again and again and again. This is an everyday task. The willingness to stand strong depends on the attention to detail you put through every single part of the process. I had to do this many times before I found where to lay my foundation. And I would fail if I didn't share what I know to be true. 1 Corinthians 3:11 says, "For no other foundation can anyone lay that which is laid in Jesus Christ." Before I came to the realization of the cross, I saw stability every other place or in every other person that came across with. That will always be temporary. I'm not just talking to the cadets at this point. I know my LT mentioned that I came here being homeless for 2 years before arriving to the academy. For 2 years, I would look for rooftops in downtown Seattle to sleep on because I was too afraid to sleep outside in the streets because I was a girl and I was young. But even as safe as I felt up there, that was only temporary because I would either get kicked out by security in the morning or it would get cold and I'd have to find somewhere else to stay. A little bit after that, I got into a youth home and I stayed there for a while. And even through that, it was difficult, but that too was temporary. And so then came the academy. Through the academy, I've learned so much. I've learned so much on the pieces that I could add to my foundation. But even so, as better built that I was built through the academy, that too was temporary. At some point, seasons pass and we have to move on. And it is up to you to take whatever it is that you get from it and you use it. Parents, sometimes there are moments that you can get discouraged too. And you think things like, well, my foundation has already been built and it's not such a strong one. I learned a long time ago that sometimes you have to destroy in order to rebuild. Parents, if demolition is needed, if rebuilding is needed from the foundation that you've already built, I encourage you to do it. For a better foundation for you and your family. These cadets did just that by coming here. There's no better example right now than your kids. They left everything they knew and were comfortable with to dramatically change the stability of their future. And just as a building, renovations must take place for a building to continue to stand. And so no, we're not handing them to you perfect. They just now have open eyes to how else their lives can be different if taking the necessary steps towards the true direction. And so I ask you, parents, family members, friends, are you willing to take the necessary steps? Right now, you are the means to their foundation. The question is it a firm one that will stand when the Washington storms come around? Matthew 7:24 says this, "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on the house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock." Your kids have made progress here, some internally more so than externally. Some of them are starting to really dig, some are only still inspecting the soil. Be patient with them, encourage them. I didn't have the support the Academy provides when I went back home after graduating, and I came to a total collapse many times. Not because of laziness, although I'm sure that may have been part of it, but it was rather for the lack of support. That is what we provided them with here, and they desperately need that going back home. Cadets, you've started to inspect your soil. Continue to do this throughout your life. Dig deep and root out all that which can potentially make you collapse. If you have to rebuild, do it. And do it with more willingness to succeed than the prior time. Pay attention to the details and keep building. Take and keep hold of those values which you have learned. The process makes you stronger, but only if you allow it. Build your firm foundation. Now you know where to find it, and now you know how to begin. No more excuses. Be encouraged. You've made it this far. Congratulations. Thank you.